Welcome, welcome. I hope today is a beautiful day for you. And for today's meeting, I was not preparing any kind of demo for you. No PowerApps, no Bubble, no other platforms like Webflow, like Zapier. This is something I prepared for next week. Small spoiler. But for today, I prepared an interview with a person who actually is a low-code, no-code consultant. So my guest for today will be Alex. Alex is working in IT industry of low-code, no-code from like 3 years now. Actually, we'll ask him in a second once he will jump in our meeting. But until he'll appear, I can just, dance and juggle. Yeah, whatever. Let's wait for Alex. Of course, if you have any kind of questions, please do ask them in the chat. We are on YouTube live, so only on that platform. We are waiting for people on LinkedIn group, No Code Masters, because once we will reach, I think, 150 people there, we'll be able to create live meetings there as well. So, yeah, Alex, we're waiting for you. Where are you? Alex has some technical issues. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I hope that he'll be able to join us in a second. If he will not appear, then, well, we'll screw it up. Let's wait a couple minutes more. Sometimes it happens, just it's life, you are a developer, pro developer, and out of nowhere, a superb error shows up and you don't know what to do with it. So you will just try to figure out how to solve it, and you can add for the whole day. Next day, everything works smoothly, perfectly, without any kind of an action from you. So it's like, well, oh yeah, there is Alex. Alex, glad you're here. Hi, Alex. We cannot hear you now.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Oh, I hear birds. You're
Yeah,
outside,
okay?
I can see. Yeah, it's okay. Why are you outside?
Well, because I have a baby, small baby inside, and it's better to have a conversation right here because it's more quiet.
Nice one. But glad you join us. So, Alex, I know that you are working as a no-code consultant, and let me know how is your feeling about this no-code stuff? Like, is it something, first of all, super unique on the market? Is it like super difficult? How do you perceive such things?
I think it's still relatively not known niche, like compared to the normal coding that people mostly know, like Java coding or C# coding.
But I think it's become more and more popular. There are more conferences now, more knowledge about this. But still, when I speak about my job with people, they usually don't know what low code is. They of course know what coding is, but low code still most people don't know.
So what is low code and no code to you?
For me, this is a kind of like a way to start making applications, programs, things that work and can work in businesses and elsewhere. That is more approachable for people, easier to start,
to make something that works.
Okay, nice. So it looks kind of similar to regular programming, but where's the difference for you? Because I know that you were programmers some time ago. At least you were learning that, right?
Yeah. I was programming. I was learning to program in Java, in Spring. So I did that, but then I switched to low code.
Why? Why? It's so unpopular. You're, you're a super unique person, because normally people are like, no, I'm on low code just as a part of my road straight to the regular programming. And on the other hand, there is you who actually went from programming to no code low code.
Yeah, that's correct. The main thing, I think it's because I met you and you told me about this technology. No, because I was not aware of it even before.
Okay.
But for me, it looked interesting. I wanted to know more about this thing, and see what's up with it. With this new technology, because it was so fresh at the moment. Because I started like more than 2 years ago, so at that time it was very, very fresh.
Yeah.
And I started working with it, and I liked it because I could have very fast outcomes out of it. Very fast building applications. So it was very interesting for that fact for me. I didn't need to work like a couple of weeks at least for the application to work. More complicated.
For how long now you working in no code industry?
Yeah, it's more than 2 years, I think. When exactly we did start? It was 2 years ago, almost more than that.
More than that, I think it was 2020.
More than that. Yeah, 2020
or 2019, something like that.
Yeah,
somewhere in between, I guess. So it's almost, let's say, 3 years now. How, from your perspective, how no code low code industry evolve? Does it evolve at any point, actually?
Yeah, it's changing. I think very fast. It's changing very fast. I'm working mainly with the PowerApps technology, so
Microsoft,
Microsoft technology. So I can see like changes from 1 week to another. Like they adding constantly new things to it. So it's very rapidly changing technology. I can see from my work, day-to-day work. But the core of the technology, the power effects and things like that, is relatively constant. Of course, they still adding new functions, new functionalities. But if you know the core, it's the core is the same when I started, but they're adding new functionalities, from time to time.
Yeah, got it. When I'm talking to other, regular software developers, they often tell me that, well, with no code, low code, you cannot achieve so many advanced solutions extendable on the level that with regular programming. So from your perspective, is it like, can you see a limit on low code, no code that is unable to work around, or how do you see where is the limit for the low code, no code?
Sure, there is a limit for sure, because if there weren't any limits, there would be, I think, only low code, no code, but still normal developers exist on the market. So for sure there is a limit to low code, no code. I think we even reached a limit with one project. The application that we built start working, quite slowly with one client. We had to, move a little bit from Canvas technology to the more model-driven plus components from, normal coding.
Yeah.
So for sure there is a limit when PowerApps, can work a little bit slowly.
Mm-hmm.
But for very, large number of projects, I think PowerApps is perfect technology for that. Because, if you're not building too big thing, it should work for the most part.
But when you refer to project that you're deploying on customers, are they small companies? Are they large companies? How much? How prof, um, professional are these companies?
Yeah, they're very big companies. The biggest ones
Oh,
also. That of course I cannot tell on this podcast, but the biggest companies make projects for the biggest companies that most people know from day-to-day life.
okay. So when you refer to the big large companies, enterprises, can we actually say that low-code, no-code platforms are fully professional solutions for the business?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, they are fully professional, safe applications that big business can use and is using, for many
Okay.
years right now.
So why actually? Because you definitely understand perspective of regular developer, since you were one. Why actually they are saying that low code no code are like Lego blocks. They are not there are IT development for babies, but it's for, of course, not for production usage for professional services. Why they are seeing these things like that?
Um, I think for the most part, I think I'm not one of them, so I think we should, ask, maybe find a one and ask him if
Okay.
why somebody
Good
may
point.
say things like that. But some of them are, a bit conservative, maybe attached to their technology, favorite technology, and see low code, no code. Like I'm big boy developer, and I'm only working with .NET or something.
Yeah.
And okay, that's fair enough, but. And as we were speaking before, I think like a lot of application that they are doing for many months we could do probably in some weeks, because
Mhm.
it would be easier to build them with those blocks as you were saying.
Okay, so let's say someone is listening to us, and someone is thinking, maybe this no code local is not that bad idea. What should a person begin to learn, or maybe begin to search for more information, if one wanted to be a no code consultant like you?
Sure. I think like for now there's a lot of material, because when we were starting the material wasn't so there wasn't some big like manuals and YouTube videos, but right now there are a lot of channels that are doing tutorials and movies how to start to learn, and there's a lot of courses to start learning. So if you want to start, there's basically no problem. Just launch YouTube, type in PowerApps how to start tutorial, or buy some course on Udemy or I don't know somewhere, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Okay, so you're telling me that there is knowledge to get when someone want to become a no code developer, but actually, what kind of skills should such uh, consultant, no code consultant, wanna be should have?
Sure. Some people say that programming can be for everybody. I disagreed with this statement. It's not for it's not for everybody. You have to like computers, like to work with them, like to do more analytical stuff.
So not everybody, likes that. Some people are, more energetic. They like to, have more contact with people, or move more in the real world, so called. So it's. But like if you like, like to work with computers, you like thinking, you like, maybe doing some analytical stuff, then for sure you can try and see for yourself if you like it. If you know.
Okay, and from your perspective, what is the toughest part of low-code, no-code consultant, if there is any?
What is the toughest part? I don't know if I don't know if what can be the toughest part. I think it depends, on the individual, if what can be tough with you. But
Okay,
for
so,
me,
what's the differences in terms of daily routine activities in your work? What is differences between low-code, no-code consultant and software developer?
the biggest one, I think, the low-code, no-code is technology can be very agile. So in some projects we have, daily meetings with clients. So every day we are meeting with clients, and they are, we're talking on what we will be doing this day and what can we change, what can we do with the project. So, things in the project can change from day to day, basically. We can, client says, let's add this functionality to the app, and we can add, if it's like relatively simple functionality, we can add in one day, and it's ready to go. So it is very agile technology. So, and you were asking about the hard things before. I remember that it can be very agile. So it can be plus and can be minus. Because projects can rapidly change, and sometimes you have to kind of stop clients, with their suggestions, because there can be so many suggestions in low time that it's too fast even. Sometimes
crawling scope. That's actually a term directly from IT industry, because normally in software development projects you should avoid crawling scope, but in case of no code, low code, crawling scope is something much more frequent. But of course, you should not always follow the changes in the scope, right? Sometimes you should allow it. Sometimes you should stop it. Sometimes you should you should have some procedure on it. And by the way, what kind of procedure, what kind of approach do you have for the changes in the scope? Do you have some pattern you follow when customer changes the scope?
It also depends on the project. Some clients, right now we're trying to have a limited number of hours per project, right? So I know for this project, for today, I have this and this much hours. So I have to know how long each functionality will take for me to do, and then basically I can tell the client how what can I do today or in this week in this project. So I have to be conservative with my time, and telling the clients what can I do in this time period. So this is also the kind of hard part in low code, no code, that you have to know how much time each functionality it will take for you to make. So you're not too enthusiastic with your time with the client, because it's easy to say yes to something, and then it's hard to
it's hard to it's hard to disagree with him, right? So whenever he asks you for something, he always think that it will be easy, it will take you like minutes, maybe hours, instead of weeks and months. And it's hard to conscious your customer that actually some changes may take more than regular. And by the way, when it comes to the changes, how quickly you can create a change in no code platforms in comparison to regular development? How much faster from your perspective?
Yeah, it depends on the change, right? Some changes can take, I don't know, like correcting a typo in application can be done literally in like minutes, right? But like some functionalities can take a couple of hours, some can take a couple of days, some couple of, maybe more than days. It depends on functionality, but some can be, most of them, I think new functionalities can be added in a couple of hours, day, with the testing, of course,
Okay. And when it comes to the regular programming, how do you feel like what's the changes between the differences between low code and no code and regular programming?
Yeah, I think bigger changes in normal development takes way longer.
Okay.
Couple of times at least, I think.
Okay, couple of times. From a perspective, of course, it always apply to experience of a developer, of consultant, because for one consultant, some change will take hours. For another, the same change will take minutes or something. But of course, from your perspective, it's a couple times faster to create change, to deliver change in no code than in software development. Cool. And because another thing that I also very often hear from people from with which I'm talking to, they're referring to the security, and they're referring to scalability of no-code solutions. What is your point of view on these areas, on these topics?
Yeah, we didn't have any issue with the security of our apps. So
any issue with the security, which means you implement that, or you just resign from having security, so that's why there is no issue?
No.
Of course, we had to implement, in all of our project security, but up to this day, there were no breaches, no problems with security at all. So from that point, for like 3 years, we can, for sure say that this is a safe technology, because of course it stands on Microsoft technology. So Microsoft, basically is backing all the safety.
It's actually on the Microsoft infrastructure, of course. Have you actually tried other vendors?
In the low code, no code, no, I didn't try other vendors than Microsoft. I had, I saw a little bit from the other vendor. I'm not sure about the name. But yeah, I've seen only this technology in action, but I didn't try it yet. So
I have to make another interview with someone who is actually a regular consultant or developer of Babel, because I'm super excited about verifying and comparing different vendors' platforms. So like Power Platform from Microsoft, like Babel from Babel, like Salesforce, this Lightning apps, Appian. There are a couple different vendors, couple different platforms. Each one has different set of configuration security capabilities. So okay. So my last question, because actually we are getting close to our interview. I'd like to keep interview interesting, so we should not exceed more than 30 minutes long. But when it comes to the no code, being a no code consultant, whom do you recommend become a no code consultant?
Yeah. So I think if you like working with the computers, if you like designing on your own, because in the normal development you have usually whole team developing an application, a lot of people usually, but in low code, no code, you can basically design your own UI, UX. You can decide on your own in doing so-called backend, and you have on some projects you have full control over what you're doing. So if you like, having this kind of like freedom and giving the client project made on your own, basically, and then it can be very satisfying. Seeing your own child, it's basically you're doing it on your own. So it's for if you like that, that's for sure a thing for you. If you're not feeling that you won't be a full stack normal developer, but you would like to do some coding, some designing, some working with the people, with the clients, speaking with people, then I think this is the best technology for you. Because it's kind of like joining two worlds. Being more like consultant, talking with people, with clients, and then making the applications. So you can join two worlds basically.
Okay, but are there any preferred industries or maybe preferred roles in the companies that have easier entry to the no-code world?
Yeah, I think that's those more technological, analytical ones. For me, I was working. I was an engineer before, so I was already doing some things on Excel and something with mathematics and counting and so on. So if you, for example, like working with Excel formulas and things like that, you will feel like at home probably in PowerApps, because a lot of the things that you can do in Excel you can do in PowerApps, with analogical formulas, and it can be pretty similar experience to working with Excel, for example. So if you like that, for sure you can, but I don't think there's any like limits. If you're feeling like you can start and you would like to, then even if you're like more like in the humanistic side of things, you can still start, because if you have needs, or do you want to start with that?
And and what about creative industries? What about creative roles like marketer or designer, like such people who are not either not humanistic, I guess, and not mathematicians, or that
yeah. For sure, if you like that, if you're like a person like that, you can try also, even if you like designing the PowerApps, for example, UI or UX is very easy. It's basically add a component, you stylize the component, you add colors, rounded edges and so on. You design the pattern, when the button, where the button is, when the gallery is, and you just basically drag and drop those things like you would do in some graphic program or something like that on the canvas. So it's very easy, but it's very easy to start. But if you want to go into the details and more stylizing stuff, you can do magic with it.
Okay, but so I see that actually to become no-code consultant, you have let's say maybe not variety of platforms that you have to know, but definitely variety skills for like talking with customer. Not every software developer and is able to do that. Some designing skills, UX, UI. Some also logical thinking. Because of the functions you mentioned, because of some logical operations behind the app. So pretty wide set of different areas, knowledge areas, then that whenever I was, for instance, a software developer, I didn't have to know them all at once, right? And use them at once. Yeah, I'm super glad that we were able to talk about it, and then thank you for having possibility to talk with us, because I know that you're also on holidays. So I wish you happy the rest of the holidays, and I hope that your journey with no code local will still be so satisfying as now. And yeah, I can wish you all the best. Have a great day, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks you for having me, and have a nice day.
Thank you. See ya.
See you.